summer morning in London. Hercule Poirot's office.
Dear M. Poirot, I have been recommended to you by an old and valued friend of mine who knows the worry and distress I have been in lately. Not that this friend knows the actual circumstances, those I have kept entirely to myself, the matter being strictly private. My friend assures me that your discretion itself, that there be no fear of my being involved in a police matter, which, if my suspicion should prove correct, I should very much dislike. It is of course possible that I am entirely mistaken. I do not feel myself clear-headed enough nowadays, suffering as I do from insomnia and the result of a severe illness last winter, to investigate things for myself. I have neither the means nor the ability. On the other hand, I must reiterate once more that this is a very delicate family matter, and for many reasons, I may want the whole thing hushed up. If I am once assured of the facts, I can deal with the matter myself, and should prefer to do so. I hope that I have made myself clear on this point. If you will undertake this investigation, perhaps you will let me know to the address above. Yours very truly, Amelia Barrowby. Miss Lemon?
Yes, Detective Poirot?
Would you have the goodness, mademoiselle, to write refusals couched in correct terms to all of these? And?
Yes, Monsieur Poirot?
What is your opinion of this letter? Well?
Old lady got the wind up pretty badly.
Ah, the wind
Very
rises in her, you think?
Very hush-hush, and tells you nothing at all.
Yes, I observed that.
I am your secretary, definitely not the best second opinion.
Tell her I will do myself the honor to call upon her at any time she suggests, unless she prefers to consult me here.
Yes, Monsieur Poirot.
These are bills. These are bills.
I'll pay all but these two.
Why? There is no error in them.
They are firms you've only just begun to deal with. It looks bad to pay them too promptly when you've just opened an account. Looks as though you're working up to get some credit later on.
Ah, I bow to your superior knowledge of the British tradesman.
There's nothing I don't know about them.
"5 days later, in the same office.
That Miss Barrowby we wrote to. No wonder there's been no answer. She's dead.
Ah,
I sat on the tube and tore it out.
on March 26th, suddenly at Rosebank, Charmin Greens, Amelia Jan Barrowby on her 73rd year. No flowers by request. If you'll be so obliging as to type this letter, Miss Lemon.
Certainly.
Dear Mrs. Barrowby, I have received no reply from you, but as I shall be in the neighborhood of Charmin Greens on Friday, I will call upon you that day and discuss more fully the matter mentioned to me in your letter. Yours, etc. If it is posted at once, I should go to Charmin Greens by tonight.
The next morning.
Has there been a response to my letter?
Yes, Monsieur.
Read it, please.
Dear Sir, in reply to your letter, my aunt, Miss Barrowby, passed away on the 26th, so the matter you speak of is no longer of importance. Yours truly, Mary Delafontaine.
No longer of importance. That is what we shall see. To Charmin Greens I go.
The next morning, Hercule Poirot arrives at the Delafontaine house.
Charming little garden. The cockle shells are a nice touch. Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With cockle shells and silver bells and pretty maids all in a row. Pardon, but does a Miss Amelia Barrowby live here?
Oh, sir, didn't you know? She's dead. Ever so sudden it was, Tuesday night.
How dreadful. I had an appointment with the lady for today. Perhaps, though, I can see the other lady who lives here?
The Mistress Mary? I suppose you could try, though I doubt she would see anyone.
Charlie, who is that at the door?
A Monsieur Poirot.
I wrote to you not to come.
I apologize, madam. I did not receive the letter.
Oh, don't be rude, Mary. It's a pleasure to meet you, Monsieur Poirot. Miss Barrowby was my wife's aunt. She passed suddenly on Tuesday.
I'm quite sorry. I withdraw.
Oh, stay, please.
You had an appointment with Miss Barrowby?
Yes.
Perhaps you'll tell us about it?
I am a detective. It is of the private nature.
You're a detective? How extraordinary.
Katrina, be gone. This is a family matter.
Oh, yes, miss. Sorry.
She didn't mention Russians, did she?
Russians?
Yes, it was most certainly the half-Russian nurse, Katrina, desperate for Miss Barrowby's money.
Don't be absurd, Henry.
You have an excellent garden, madame.
Mary and I personally tend to it.
May I borrow your phone to tell my secretary the business here shouldn't take too long?
Oh, certainly, it is on the table. We shall leave you to your privacy.
Inspector, it is Monsieur Poirot. I would like to know the details of the death of a Miss Amelia Barrowby. Spasms and a large dose of strychnine, administered with her dinner, and for dinner she had oysters, I see. She was quite rich, wasn't she? You suspect a half-Russian nurse. All right. Thank you, sir. Who should you be?
Katrina Reiger, the nurse. You're the detective?
That is me.
I know the police suspect me. Miss Barrowby intended to leave her money to me. She took a liking to me, but I wasn't even home most of the day. Miss Mary had me fetch 16 oysters. I swear, I didn't do anything, but I know I am to be sent to jail anyway because I am the one who benefits most from her death. You must help me. Please.
Yes, of course.
If you were to ask me, I would suggest you investigate Charlie the butler.
Why is that, mademoiselle?
Miss Barrowby wasn't always the kindest to Charlie. I bet Charlie snapped and killed her. Charlie prepared dinner that evening.
Why don't you fetch Charlie for me?
Yes, monsieur.
You wanted to see me?
Yes. Could you tell me about dinner the night Miss Barrowby died?
Certainly. Miss Barrowby insisted on a simple meal that night of soup and a dozen oysters. She was odd like that. I prepared it all very quickly. It was very easy.
How was it served?
In 2 bowls in the middle of the table.
Charlie, why don't you fetch us all tea?
Certainly.
A few hours passed in the De La Fontaine household.
So I told him, Mr. Maguire, you have to leave.
Sorry excuses those Maguires are.
Thank you for the tea, madam, and your pleasant company.
Oh, of course, monsieur. I would hate for you to travel all the way here only to turn around home.
It's strange. Katrina mentioned ordering 16 oysters from the fishmonger, but Charlie only recalls there being a dozen. It's funny, when I approached this house, I thought of the old nursery rhyme. Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With cockle shells and silver bells and pretty maids all in a row. Only they're not cockle shells in your garden, they're oyster shells. The 2 of you replaced half of the oysters with poisoned ones, and the oysters you replaced, you had to get rid of the evidence. So in the garden they went.
But wouldn't we have died as well?
Not if you marked the poisoned ones. Subtle enough that only you would notice, of awful.
Why would we do such a thing?
Katrina was a threat to your inheritance, wasn't she? But you knew the police would suspect her. She was found guilty for your aunt's murder. She wouldn't receive the inheritance. No one fools Monsieur Poirot, madam. I always get to the bottom of it.
Thank you for watching How Does Your Garden Grow, based on the Agatha Christie short story. As Hercule Poirot, we have Izzy. As Charlie, we have Vivi. As Katrina, we have Deirdre. As Henry, we have Thomas. Miss Lemon was played by Bridget, and I directed and played Mary, Paige. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.